I am glad that this lawsuit is happening. I don't know if he's going to win anything, but I think the best thing that is going to come about from this lawsuit is that it's going to cause conversations to happen. And it needs to be active, progressing conversations about how do we fix a sport where over 70% of the players are African American.
Right. I was going to ask numbers. Yeah.
And yet over 90% of managerial positions are occupied by, white men or women.
And so on top of this, Meko, I can feel your frustration, right? Your frustration, your disappointment, your anger a little bit. How do you, I guess, are you angry? Is it just like,
it's
another thing?
It's annoying. It's because to your point,
disappointing more. I'm not trying to put where I'm just trying to.
Yeah. I think I am. I'm working through it because it's frustrating. It's annoying. That's why I say I can't really necessarily pinpoint one adjective because it is all of these things, because it's like every time you think that we're taking steps in the right direction towards equality or to being treated fairly, or because again,
look at Colin Kaepernick. He's still not. I mean, they didn't do anything with it. I mean, that wasn't fixed.
Right. Whether it's Colin Kaepernick, whether it's, again,
I just don't know what they're going to do here. I just if the NFL gets away with it, that's what my fear is, right? If the NFL gets away with this,
right,
I feel like there's a chance they could. If they do, what now? Then how do we deal with that, right? I think that we have to do something. This is getting absurd. Becoming absurd.
Well, it's been absurd for a while, and I think the thing that is
that's true.
It's becoming almost in a form you start to feel somewhat helpless, right? And again, this lawsuit is going to help rally some people together to start getting conversations had, but it's it becomes a situation of, and I sent you guys a clip from Emmanuel Acho where he kind of breaks down why he believes this is happening.
There were two reasons he talks about, right?
He talks about nepotism and John, the other word,
cronyism.
I got it. If you're listening to the podcast, or if you're watching the podcast, go look those two words up or go out, we'll find
cronyism from cronies. You got it. I ask about that one.
Yeah. Cronyism is essentially the practice of basically doing things for your friends, and then nepotism, basically the practice of doing things for your family. And Emmanuel Acho does an amazing job of explaining why he believes these two things play a huge role into why the dynamics of the NFL are the way they are. But the reason it starts to feel helpless is because this becomes a personal preference thing, or when it comes to systemic racism in a situation like this, it's really difficult to start to try to figure out how you're going to change people's perception, how they've always done things for years. The NFL has been around for a long time, and things have been done this way for years. And it's really hard to go into any NFL franchise and tell somebody you have to hire an African American, right? Because even if they start doing that, this is my opinion, right?
Yeah.
I believe even if they started doing that, even if you made teams, if this blows up really, really big and it becomes this whole scandal and teams start going out and being more purposeful for hiring African Americans, I still feel like there's going to be in the back of some of those coaches' mind of, is this legitimate though? Or are they just doing this?
Right. Did I really get the job?
Right. Or are they only doing this to pacify the masses and they don't really think I can do this job well?
For what it's worth, I think you need to take hiring power. I mean, and it's exceedingly rare that this is going to happen, but I think you do need to take hiring power away from management, because it goes back to what Emmanuel Acho said. I mean, if you have management that's 96% white and players that are 78% African American, I don't know. I think that the players, maybe through some sort of democratically chosen team captains, whatever, I feel like the players should have a voice in choosing their head coach. And I just think that power dynamic needs to be flipped. I think that's the only way to, because it's all power. I mean, that's you can put end racism on as many helmets as you want, but until you flip the power dynamic, I don't think anything's actually going to like change in a positive direction. So I think you give players the power to hire their head coach instead of managers who, as Emmanuel Acho said, you're going to fall into cronyism and nepotism, and guess who that benefits?